So let me continue a little bit about what we just talked about with it. This is part 2 of your class project of your creating from your template to a full-blown page with it as well. So let me give you an example with what the final product will look like before we get into the breakdown of this with it. Let me magnify this a little bigger. And so you have this navigation that you just did. And I want to, if you note here, I purposely created a message in here that says, "Welcome to my portfolio." That's going to be your default index page. I want you to notice up here, there's the index page with it. And then when we click on the project, it takes you to the project page. We haven't, in between video 1 and video 2, I created project.html. I'm going to go back. I'm going to show you how to do this in a second with it. So if you have 4 links, you have 4 pages: home.html, projects.html, contact us or contacts.html, about me.html, no spaces between the T and M, and about me, one word. Or so, make your file name properly with it. So I just want a couple of things I want to point out with this menu with it. Note, if I clicked on the project, it says I also created another text over here. It says my professional work for projects. I click on, and also you notice this link is active for this page. I click on contact me, changes the text to contact. Everything else remains fixed. You see that? The only thing that changes is this text right here I put in, that is center. I don't need it. Of course, I don't need it. The navigation menu should tell me that I am on whatever page I'm on, because this is right now it's active. So as purpose of you're going to fill in the content for this thing. Okay. So this is what there's 3 parts to this video with this thing. One is to get the image in, align it, whatever you need to do in the Jumbotron. The second, the part that I just did for you is the video, the navigation with it, getting it, and you're going to code this in a second with it. All right. So I'm going to pause the video. Let me back up, stop the video for the time being, and I want to pick it back up with it. So before we get to the coding part for it as well. All right. So just to give you some of the demo, what your finished project page. So as I click through each one of these pages, you see a little blink. That's all you see, and it's very subtle, but it doesn't allow. Remember the e-commerce website that one of the exercises that we did, very similar to it. So we created a fictional e-commerce website. We created multiple page with it, with a similar menu navigation with it as well. Here, you're going to add a little bit to it with the graphics and everything else. So everything remains the same. It's the content that, and every time when you click on one of these links, you're actually going to a different page, but that page has the same layout, same content with it. The column 1, column 2, that's what's going to change. All right. So if I clicked on projects, you will have your projects here. When I clicked on contacts, you have your contact information there. About me, you put your about me pages here with it. So that's your job. I'm going to let you fill this out on your own with it, and that's how it's going to work with it. All right. So let me pause the video for a few seconds, and I want to pick it back up in a second. Okay, hold on. This is still part 2. Okay, so this is still part 2 of the class project video segment with it. I'm going to pick up where we're off. I'm going to bring in, this is the layout 2 that we have right here with it. And if you want to pause the video, that's fine with it. We put in, for the first part, we put in our video, our graphics that I had you installed. In the container part of the page, I documented this. Now I went in, of course, what you're going to see me do is, when we put in our name of our pages, this is the template with it. Everything has to be fine with it. And we went in at this time right now. I ended the documenting. This is when it started, and this is when all the navigation ended. It's right there with it. Now, inside of this particular page, this layout 2, it does not have the center text. What I was showing you does not have this part like about me. No, don't do that. Now, I just want to point out with you is that, look, by default, the page loads the index. You see this class equals active. It means that's highlighted, okay? So as we go through each of the pages, like project.html, you're going to have to take this page, this attribute and the property down to the next anchor tag. So, for example, so what you need to do is, if I'm assuming that this is our template that we have perfectly, right? So, and this is my layout 2. I'm going to call layout 2 is my template, right? I got my navigation, I got my logo up there to start out with. Now, I need to actually create an index page. So what do? I'm in my layout 2. I do File, Save As, okay? And I already did this already before in between videos, so save some time. So I create what's called an index. This is the index page. I type in the word index in here, right? .html. Make sure you put the .html in there, and then you hit save, index.html. So it created this file for me, which is this, all right? And then I would actually go in. So this is my index page for my my index page right here. Now, with this index page that I have, I want the link to be when I click on the home button. See, this is the index page. You see, so it actually leaves it there. If I click on the project, it leaves in that color. So the class active, the class called active in this. Oops, sorry. The class that's called active in this right here, this is what makes it green. So I'm going to actually take that same layout right now, make sure everything's right, do File, Save As. This time I'm going to save it as, what's my next one? This is my project one. So I type in the word project like this, okay, .html, put the .html after it, right? Like that. Alright, I already saved mine already, so you don't have to do it. Project.html, hit save. I do that again. Take the layout, File, Save As. I create what's the next page? Contacts.html. Type in the word contacts.html. Okay. I did, which is this page right here, right? So, and then my last one is about me. So all this is coming from layout 2. This is so crucial, all right? This is your template. Layout 2 is your template, right? So you have all of these. So I have all of these. Let me cancel all of these with it. So if you look at here with it, if you look at this page right now, I have, okay, let me collapse this so we simplify this. In my portfolio layout 2 folder, I have a subdirectory that's called img for my image. I have a page that's called about me.html, contacts.html, index.html. I have projects.html. Cool? So make sure you have at least, you have 4 links. 4 of the links is the name of the navigation, and one of them is the layout 2.html. So there's a total of 5 HTML in all in this. All right? Now, just when you look at the navigation, let me go with you in this navigation right here with it. Here's my home navigation. Look, it says what? Well, if you look at, here is my navigation. Let me just tighten up this right here. This page is projects.html. It needs to have a class that's called active. All right. When I click on the project page, it's going to go to the project page. Here's my link projects. And it's going to be active. It's going to show this green button. That's what makes it active. You see that? So each one of the buttons you need to actually go in and put in the active for that page. So when it comes to contact, all that stuff, go to your contact page, and I have active as my property for my class. And when I go to my about me, look, here's about me.html. I have class that's active with it. So that's the navigation part you need to actually have done. Very, very important that you do this with it. So it's up to you. This is the text that I put in. It centers it. You don't have to do this. I just put in for the sake that I actually label. So every time when I go to, of course, you know, if I clicked on About Me, this has a green. I should know I'm in the About Me page, right? I also put the text all About Me. I clicked on Contacts, and the contact is green, but also have a text. You don't have to have this text for it. If you do, if you want to, you're fine with it. If you don't, it's not required. but I created a separate row, and I use the class as text center, and it's about me. This is pulling off of Bootstrap 3. Okay, whatever you want to use this, that's fine. You're not going to offend me with it as well. So this is each one of these pages. That's your job to actually fill out the content of this. This is the bare minimum for this. At the stage after Web 1, I don't expect you to code or design any web pages, but you need to be able to edit code, read code. That's very important right now with it. These are all text or placeholder that I have on here with it. Excuse the toilet joke with it, but I thought it'd be really good to have some little humor at this time of life right now with it, with our COVID-19 with it as well. So you're welcome to change whatever it is with it, but I'm asking is, do you have a logo? Do you have a menu navigation? Do you have a layout that's responsive? That's the key thing I'm looking for a portfolio right now with it as well. Okay, so I'm gonna if you have questions, please let me know. But this concludes the second video of the web template transitioning into your portfolio with it. After you're done with this, listen, after you're done with this, if you look at this directory, you see this class project right here? You need to link everything to from your index page to a folder that's called class project, and that should be linked to your index page. Does that make sense? Has to be linked to your index page. So when you link it to your index page, make sure you link it, open up into a blank tab for me. Would you do that for me, please? So link from your index main page to your page to this index, call it class project, and link it with that. Cool? All right. That concludes the second video for web template to your web portfolio with it as well. If you have questions, email me, let me know with it as well. But let me scroll up to here before I summarize this. Let me show you what I did up here with it. I'm using Bootstrap number 3, Bootstrap 3.0. This is the strap. This is some of all this is from your top navigation, menu navigation in your class exercise number 8. I'm sorry. All this you already should have done this. I just copy and paste it over with it, right? It's from this one right here, right? Your top navigation. So in this case, this is the layout with it. So let me just pull up the index page since we're doing about that. So all of this comes from your top navigation part with it. From script to script, it's inside your head tag with it. If you want to pause this, take a look at it really good with it before I move forward on it. That's what it looks like with it as well. You can pause this. It's the same thing that you did on class exercise number 8. Coming down to the body, this is the Jumbotron section. This is where the graphics comes in, and I just put in a clear, transparent PNG in there as well. I just gave it a little script in here as well with it. The other part is the container. Starting in top of the container, I started a new row. I documented top navigation, start here, and top menu navigation ends here with it. So all of this is what I put in. I talked to you about the classes. Each of the pages need to have a class called active with it. That's very important. And you're welcome to do this. This is optional. This little descriptive is optional that you want to do. But the 3 columns that you have here sits inside of a row. This is your class row, and inside that row it has 3 columns. Okay, so this concludes the video for our class project, video number 2. Thanks.